Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we got an update on the little Kamtec, and I've no doubt in my mind that we can make this fun to drive, but the first outing with the stock wheels and stock tyres compared to the other Kamtecs on the track, and they are quite strict rules as in what gearing, what motor, what speed controller. The only thing you're allowed to change is the body shell and the servo, and the wheels and tyres, but these stock wheels and tyres, they're just not good at all. It literally, every other corner, it's just completely switching ends. No matter how much I tried to tweak the suspension and everything, we got it kind of competitive, but I think the first run with it, I literally just told one at Marshall's to take it off at car before it writ itself off or some other cars. Even with this giant wing, it was completely out of control. But the rest of the guys there are running the Schumacher contact foams. So we've got the 50s for the front and 32s for the rear. So let's bring in and see if these fit okay. So the part numbers for these, they are the contact racing tyres. We've got JM50FB for the fronts and JM32RN for the rear. So let's see how we go at fitting these. Try and get a bit of fluff out of it. It's the only thing with carpet racing, they do kind of cover themselves. We definitely needed to back the front locking wheel nuts off, because even on these stock wheels, if you tighten them up all the way, you basically got no movement in your wheel, they just go stiff. So front one comes off easy enough. We get the stickers, and you get these little plates. They kind of help to stop them chunking, so it's well worth fitting them, but they do pop off. But they kind of stop them getting chunked up on the track, so I'm probably going to glue them in. So there's other bearings still on there. So let's see how these fit compared to the stock ones. Straight away they are narrower, or not as much sort of tread on them, if you like. So it looks like we're going to have the exact same issue with these if you actually try and nip them up at all. They're just going to not spin. Kind of seems to be the way these Kamtecs are designed, or not designed, whichever way you want to look at it. But not even the stock wheels don't seem to fit properly. See if we can get that bearing to come out. Yeah. Does feel like they should have a little washer on the front to run on the inner race, just to allow you to tighten the nut up to it. Because you really do have to have them pretty loose. Didn't have a wheel fall off, so at least there's that. I'm not sure if it's worth gluing these on. Probably is. I've seen quite a few of these flying off like frisbees at track, so it'd be worth sticking a little tiny bit of glue on them just to try and keep them in place. Don't need to go mad with it. They do kind of shoot off like raged frisbees. I think I was the one of the few Kamtecs that night that didn't manage to bend the rear shaft, but they are dirt cheap. but then again, I could never really get the speed up to do any damage to it because it was spinning round in circles. So let's see if we can line this up and get it on. Looks like that side's going to fit. So yeah, they're definitely a lot smaller. And by the end of the night, it wasn't too far off pace, but I think I finished a lap down on the actual race leader. So it was definitely enough that it wasn't really competitive, and to start with, it was absolutely undrivable. I'll run through just a few of the things that we tried changing on it just to make it that little bit better. The first one was to back off the wheel nuts on front, just to make sure the wheels are spinning nice and freely. And we backed off the tension on the front and rear of the bolts, what hold the suspension, just to make it nice and free. Did seem to improve it quite a lot. And these don't seem too bad to put on, I must admit. So they certainly, the contact tyres certainly fit the Kamtecs really well, or the wheels. And I should be racing this, as of this video, it'll be tomorrow night. And the car certainly sits lower, and without changing the gearing, smaller tyres should give it more acceleration, and it's a really, really tight, twisty track that we race on. Once we got it dialed in, I did kind of enjoy it, but the first qualifier was absolutely horrendous. Literally, the slightest little touch at throttle, and it was switching ends. Did get 4 races in on these tyres, and to be honest, the stock tyres, I'm really not impressed. If we were all running stock, it'd be absolutely fine, but seems though the rest of the guys are running these, I thought we might as well at least get on the same tyres. But they do fit quite nice. No issues putting them on, they're not going to catch anyway. And it's definitely a bit of a strange little car to sort of work out what sort of things are acceptable and what aren't. I mean, I can certainly say it's got, without a doubt, the worst instruction manual I've ever come across. I think maybe 4 of you could buy the exact same part number kit and get slightly different parts in each one. But they are dirt cheap, they're relatively tough, the body shells are dirt cheap, and it's definitely a very cheap and easy way to get into racing. Not sure how much would carry over from this to other vehicles. You can certainly experiment with tightening and loosening the suspension. I would say it's definitely more difficult to drive than the MO7. The MO7 out of the box drives absolutely amazing. The Tamiya TA08 Pro, another car that's straight out of box, drives amazing. These, they're probably an acquired taste. They're a lot of fun when it's going right. It's just, it's a lot of messing about to get them going right. A lot of experimenting with the tension on the rear sort of subframe where the suspension is. But it's got a new set of tyres on it, so we'll have to give it a try and see if my verdict changes of what it drives like. But let's wrap this one up. So there we have it, the little Kamtec with its nice, hopefully better gripping rear tyres. Changed the front ones as well, but hopefully this setup makes it a bit more enjoyable and a bit more drivable for me, and a bit less switching ends. But Thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.